All right, welcome to Batman Radio, the greatest radio show of all time, with your host, the one and only Real Batman. All right, real quick. Um, this is one I want to say because it's relevant. First of all, I've completely exposed everyone, like I said. Like I told you, those people who, all these people, they work little rinky-dink jobs. I don't care about them. They don't matter. Their opinion is irrelevant. They're irrelevant. Okay. But my only point was, you know, people know that they messed up, right? Because, like I said, they'll have their people who are out of shape and nobodies, and probably need to get on a treadmill and do some running and actually do some fitness. Maybe the Atkins diet. So they have them, and they'll have them run their mouth, right? And basically, like I said, the fake owners and managers, they know that they messed up because, well, you just don't do that. You don't run your mouth at Tyrese Sneed. It doesn't matter who you are. You know what I mean? Especially, like I said, when I have the power to put any business or establishment like out of business. And I have the power to completely expose everything that you're doing that's illegal or corrupt or just not right or, affecting other people like me. So, like I said, I'm going to say this one more time, right? Wherever I go and I'm doing something, if I'm busy, leave me alone. Don't say nothing to me. Okay. Unless you being polite. And for sure, don't be walking up on me. That's just common sense, right? Number two, right? If I'm eating, for sure, don't say nothing to me at all. You just don't do that, right? And it's just basic manners and respect, right? To take it a little further, number three, if I have a conversation, right, with one person, right, and we come to a conclusion, that's the conclusion and that's the conversation. Nobody else has the right to then walk up thereafter and try to ignore the conversation and conclusion that was already agreed upon and then act like I owe them something or I'm acting some way when they have an attitude, right? And they're acting some way and then they try to overtalk me and project. And like I said, I'm not going to let nobody overtalk me. Feel me? So now everybody knows what it is, right? And now, just like everybody, you all know who you're talking to. That's number one. So now that we got that issue addressed, now everybody knows what it is and who they talking to, right? No, I'm the boss. Okay. If I go anywhere and I go anywhere to eat, everyone better be respectful. It's that simple. You're going to respect me. You're going to let me eat in peace. And it's just that simple. I don't care about this fake online stuff. I don't care about anyone on here. I don't care about your jealousy and envy. Okay. And like I said from day one, and I've already completely backed up and proven, I'm not putting up with no games, no disrespect, and no unfair treatment. You feel me? So that's number one. Number two, right? Oh, and for sure, no discrimination I'm not putting up with. You feel me? So treat me and talk to me the same way you talk to anyone else and treat anybody else. And that's it. You feel me? And it's just that's just how it's gonna be. That's my only issue at any time. You feel me? Other than that, I don't care what you people do. You're irrelevant to me. Literally. People like that, they don't even exist to me, man. You feel me? Like wage slaves, I don't care what y'all do. Be the best wage slave you can be. Be all that you can be. I'll tell you one thing. I'm glad I'm not in Kentucky right now. Straight up. I'm glad I'm not in Kentucky. You know what I mean? Over there, like I said, they all right. I'm gonna try to work with them in the future, probably. You know what I mean? Like they all right, they cool. You know what I mean? But I mean, that whole situation right now would have just been bad. I think. Yeah, I don't think it's for me. Maybe if the timing was a little different, maybe. But I don't like the whole Kentucky thing. I don't like the track. I'll just be real with you. And I'm going to go into why, and I'm going to start really gearing my content towards the same issue at this point every day, which is what? So called women. That's the issue. That's the problem. It's always them. They're the issue. I'm just being honest with you. If they weren't the issue, I wouldn't have to talk about it. And I want to use an example of something I watched online. This Daryl Brooks case, I think is his name, right? This is a public hearing, public case, whatever that's, legality. It's a legal case, right, in a courtroom. Something about some parade. I don't even know what his story is. I don't know what he did. So, like I said, don't hold me anything against me or to, don't hold my words against me because I don't know what he did. And, here's the deal, man. It doesn't matter what anyone does. And I'm going to explain this to you because a courtroom has to serve justice. And that was his point of what I watched him say on the stand to that judge. That judge is completely out of line, completely disrespectful, completely doesn't know how to do her job, and she should 100% should lose her job and resign from her job because she has no idea what she's doing. And if I'm the only one brave enough to start calling out these judges who are corrupt, these DAs who are corrupt, these lawyers are corrupt, then I mean, be my guest. I'll be the only one brave enough to say it because we're all entitled to our actual opinion as Americans. And these are not opinions, these are facts. These so called women are completely out of line. That man tried to talk about 8 times, okay, more like 18 to 20 times. And every time he tried to talk, she interrupted him and then projected and said he was interrupting her. No, you can watch the video and see clearly that she's interrupting him. And I understand that he may have like a heinous crime of something crazy or something. It doesn't matter. In a courtroom, the courtroom has to serve actual justice. And that's what he stated and said, that he just wants fairness. Okay. And I'm all for fairness and equality to all cultures, all races, and all people. And that's what I promote and have always stood for and promote. And that's what I'm trying to bring back and bring unity back between cultures. And the only way we get that is if we quit cheering on some injustice. I mean, I understand if the man did something totally heinous and wrong. Okay, he's wrong for that. But you all don't make it like that. See, you all try to take justice into your own hands instead of leaving it to God. You understand? That's my issue with a lot of you people in the world. You make it more of a so-called women sharing contest because the man is going to have to go through the repercussions, obviously, of what he did in the sentencing and whatever the hell. Basically, he's at that lady's mercy, and she's letting him know and saying, "Well, it's not going to get you out of your predicament." And she basically already has banged the gavel. She's basically already telling him, this is what it is. I'm against you and you're going to lose. And I mean, that's basically in layman's terms saying what she has the power to do the sentencing. She's basically telling him without saying it what she's going to decide and what his charge will be or what his sentencing will be, which means she'll try to throw the worst, toughest thing that we all know what it is at him that she can in her position of being a judge, right? Which is completely wrong. And judges like that, I mean, why are you working that job? There should not be judges like that, man. That's crazy, bro. We don't live in a democracy anymore. We this is basically, they think it's a dictatorship. And I want you to just notice like how many like, and then if you go to like comment sections on these videos, how many so-called women are cheering that on. There had one of these fools on here who's committed all sorts of crimes, another one that you'll go to prison, so just be quiet and stop posting, right? And they're the ones who posted that, and they said, oh, he's he's firing his lawyer, whatever. What does it matter to you what he's doing? Why is it always these so-called women stalking men and worried about what men are doing, right? Given that they're not really men, they're just dudes, right? I'm the only real man who ever existed. But when you're dealing with these guys and these dudes, why are you so concerned about just trying to basically ruin everything for guys? See, that's what I don't get. You've actually created and encouraged an actual environment of nutbags, like actual nutcases. Half of them are clinically insane. Actually, I'd say about 90% of them are clinically insane, not exaggerating, these so-called women. And they've created this environment where they think their job is to sit there and hate on men and try to drag men down. That doesn't make any sense. You see what I'm saying? I'm still all for men's rights no matter what, man. You know what I mean? Somebody has to defend men as well, just like I defend women. But I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. In my history, in my experience, 8 times out of 10, women are wrong. That's just the truth. 8 times out of 10, women are delusional. Matter of fact, more like 9.9 times out of 10. That's what I've seen every single instance. You could talk about any crime that's ever been committed, any scenario. Half of them, the majority of them, have to do with women or women manipulating the situation. If it used to be between guys, right? Women, what y'all don't understand, are not like a safe thing. Women have a habit of doing this. They have a habit of pitting men against each other. They have a habit of trying to create scenarios. And Tupac talked about it as well. And Tupac was spot on. And that's the point. There's no point in dudes going back and forth, especially over a so-called woman. You understand? Unless you're really in love with someone. But the whole point is, if you're in love with them and they love you back, they wouldn't have you going back and forth with anyone. There is no competition in true love. And true love is just you and that person, and that's it. If you're having to compete or you have to deal with anyone else, much less another dude, yeah, you walk away from that every time. Yeah, And that's not hypocrisy because I mean, in my life, I've always walked away from situations like that every time. Yeah. Like what? Actually, I've never been in a situation like that. So see, people say a lot of fake things online that never happened, never existed. I've never had that scenario. I've never had a love triangle. I've never had a scenario or problems with any woman I was with. Never. Never. I've had a pretty smooth ride, to be honest. You know, I mean, I've dealt with narcissists and narcs who try to do weird stuff behind my back, and I catch them and see what they're doing. And they probably do that intentionally because they want me to catch them. And I don't really care. The point is, it's just all a bunch of fake stuff. And it's all what? To try to trick you off your throne. That's what so-called women do. That's all they do. Like I said, the truth is that so-called women have no business being a judge in the first place because usually guys can kind of put emotion to the side a little bit and hopefully actually do their job right and judge the case for what the case is supposed to be. You get what I'm saying? When these so-called women are put in these positions where they have not real power but power over others, oh, it's a huge problem, bro. Because all they're going to do is oppress. I mean, look at people who I mean, half of people who get married are miserable. I mean, I'm not against marriage. Me and Christina plan to get married, and we will, right? But Christina is a happy, nice person. She's amazing, right? She's not like all these so-called women. Christina's a real woman. So I got me a real one, right? And that's what it takes. And they're far and few and they're hard to find and they're rare. Let's just be real, right? I got me a real one and I'm super proud of you, Christina, and I love you. And I'm happy and proud to say that, right? The rest of them, the rest of y'all, I don't know what you all want. Like literally, bro, hearing that judge talk, it's like literally I want to ask, like, are you all right over there? Like what? Bro, I remember, okay. I remember when I worked in some of those kitchens, okay, there was women like that, like 3 foot tall so-called women, and they would literally come up to drop the dishes to me and start cussing, okay, just blatantly, and thought that was okay. You feel me? And basically, I mean, when people talk to me, I talk back. Number one, and I just let them know the reality, and people understand real quick. Hey, you're not going to disrespect me. I don't care. I don't care about this job. I don't care where we at. I don't care. I don't allow disrespect, but especially I don't allow disrespect from so-called women. Hell no. Because it makes no sense. I'm a man. I don't only deserve and earn my respect. I don't ask. It's a demand. Like you're going to respect me. And see, that's the biggest difference between a real man and these, whatever you want to call them, dudes and guys, because they don't demand their respect. See, the reason why these so-called women even exist and do the things the way they do today is because you're engineering, social engineering, and programming, but because of all these beta simps who don't know how to put their foot down and say this is what it is and don't know how to be a boss and be an actual man. The man is always in charge. Man always has dominion over a woman. These are all common sense concepts that I embody and live by, right? Because that's the way it is. A man is always going to, be in charge. You understand? It's nothing about being above or being better or anything like that. It's not in a bad way until that woman starts trying to take advantage of fake authority or the gift that that man gives her, right? And then if you start playing games like that, then it's just whatever. You feel me? Because then you gotta explain, and yeah, you're gonna have to show and in the right way, but you're gonna have to show and demonstrate your power and say, hey, no, you're not in charge, and you've seen me do it in the past with plenty of people. You feel me? The whole deal is I'm cool with everybody until you don't want to be cool. You see what I'm saying? When you don't want to be cool and you don't want to just be fair and equal and everything is, happy and nice, I mean, with me, it's like it's all your choice. Like I said, it can be one real nice guy or it can be everybody's worst nightmare. It's all up to you. You feel me? And that's the way you should be in life. See, I'm a role model for people because I'm the way that you're supposed to be. See, you don't have any way to make me look anyway because number one, you're not the media, you're nobody, you don't even have a monetized channel or a voice, right? And I am the media and I am the voice. And guess what? I'm the truth. See, I don't have to get on here and lie and project. You see these other people they doing videos targeting and talking about specific individuals that they're just mad at, and they have no reason to even be mad at them. They're just targeting all their projection and animosity and hostility and frustrations in life because they failed at everything they ever did and they've always been in poverty land, right? Broke. So they just take it out basically on random like civilians, like innocent people on YouTube, just like they try to in reality. And It's sometimes as dudes, right? But guess what? They were raised by women, so-called women. The whole issue comes down to so-called women. I don't care what you say. That's our biggest problem in society is so-called women. They're all on social media all over the place trying to get people set up, trying to cause people any kind of damage they can. I mean, they're online trying to be what? Abusive, right? They're trying to like they're not trying to be nice. They ain't trying to play fair. They trying to like that, you heard the expression hurt people hurt people. That's what they try to do. And most so-called women at this point are butthurt and then they feelings. And that's just a reality you people are going to have to deal with. You understand? And the sooner you deal with it, the sooner you will start to acknowledge this actual reality that we live in. That's why they all sit there and snitch. That's why they always so quick to run and tell. They always so quick to whine and complain. This society has made everyone hypersensitive, oversensitive, and with hypersensitivity, especially when you're raising someone, it creates narcissism, and then they carry it into adulthood, and they become the monsters they are and the Karens they are. This society produces being a Karen. I don't care what you say. That's why y'all get online and you guess what you are. You don't make any money. You don't have a job. You don't have a business. You can't rap, right? You want to be a man, but you're not one. Guess what that makes you? A Karen. So that would be why you come online and project because you're just filled with weakness and you're hypersensitive and you're just brittle and frail. You're flabby like Larry Holmes out here. So you have to come online and try to take it out on innocent people and usually the people that you're jealous of because well you wish you could do what you do, right? Just which in this case in point and in this scenario it's you all wish you could be me. That's why there's so many of you. There's plenty of so-called women in the world who are mad because they failed, like I said. And then like I said, y'all don't even know what a relationship anymore. It's a relation, you know what? It's just a joke and it's just designed for your manipulation, whether it's to be to get attention on YouTube. You can see that we're happening right in front of you right now if you look at YouTube. You can look at these so-called sectors, whatever. You can see these women are just manipulating these dudes, saying they're with people, but they're literally typing to them in a comment section. How are you with someone or together if you're not in together physically in person? You understand? I call a spade and what it is. Like me and Christina, like, yeah, we started online as a relationship. We're planning to see each other and be together physically in person, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But you have to call things what they are. See what I'm saying? When you got people who have no excuse and they have no excuse to not be together physically and they're constantly not, I mean, for years and then say, we've been together this many years. No, you haven't. You've been together like maybe what, a few times, if even. And the rest of the time, you're never around each other. I mean, people who are together and they're on camera. They would have no issue getting on camera, right, together. And unless you're trying to protect something or have some kind of vested interest to not get on camera, you would be together, happy, enjoying yourself, and having a good time. Like I said, when Christina is with me, I mean, the minute we get the show on the road, we're going to be on camera all the time together. That's the whole point of everything we're doing is to do couples content and do everything together and be happy and enjoy life together and just be with each other. You know what I mean? And I'm going to be taking care of her and she's going to be, taking care of me in the sense of just being there for me for emotional support and looking after me and keeping an eye on me. That's it. We're going to have a great time, right? Like I said, all the rest of these other people, I mean, they're just a joke, man. Like I said, I told y'all what it is in the valley, man. I know the whole story in the valley, bro. I don't care what nobody talking about, bro. The fact is that I don't have problems with nobody in the valley. I just got people who jealous like everywhere. That's everywhere, man. I got people I talk to and they're like, yeah, man, you really got some haters. Like, well, yeah, of course, because I shine and I'm amazing. But I don't have no beef with nobody. Like I said, I don't do beef. I'm from the hood, bro. I know what beef really is. I've seen real beef and I've been in real beef like my whole life. Like that's all I come from. So, you know, at this point in my life, man, I just, I live my life with arms wide open. I try to help everybody and like I said, bring people to God the right way and preach and promote the gospel and and love and positivity. And I try to be a role model for everyone to follow. And like I said, I'm trying to do this digital training for the fitness. I'm trying to get everything on the road but like I said, people are going to have to participate. It's just that simple. Like I said, you see the views going up. They telling me in these readings, oh, don't talk about dollar amounts of what you get, and I ain't got nothing yet. Like again, where is my blessings? Like I'm being nothing but patient. But I mean, come on, bro. I mean, they paying me like $1, $2 when my views are continuing to skyrocket and go up. And then it said, oh, you won't see any more like they're saying that I'm not going to see more financial compensation, but they're giving me more views. That don't make no sense, man. Like I said, this whole thing is a joke. It don't make no sense. Like, nah, bro, that's crazy, man. My check amount is around like 82 bucks, bro. Like I just got thousands upon thousands of views. That's insane, bro. Like they're not paying me right. You know what I mean? So like I said, we're gonna have to take them to court. We're gonna have to take Google and YouTube to court, lawsuit. And like I said, they're gonna have to pay me millions of dollars. It's common sense. It's easy because I'm the biggest and worst case of what happened on here as far as me being targeted, and I basically have proof for everything. And it wouldn't matter what I don't have to hold proof or have proof. They prove it nonstop. It'll be easy to prove to a lawyer and then to the court and to a jury. You feel me? So I mean, nah, y'all owe me a ton of money, bro. Like this is crazy, man. Like what kind of corporation just sits here and pigeonholes you and says, "No, you're going to work for free basically, or we're not going to pay you." Come on, bro. Before you tell me what to do with my blessings, man, make sure that I'm getting them first. You feel me? I'm just saying, bro. Like y'all be too much trying. Like I said, I've seen too many people hide behind the name of God, use the name of God to do evil and dirty, nasty stuff behind closed doors. Like nah, bro, that's not how it works, man. Like I'm a true believer. I truly believe in God, and I believe God is going to bless me. It won't be YouTube that blesses me because YouTube is demonic and satanic. Okay, it's going to be God that blesses me. You understand? I don't believe I'm going to gain anything out of this, but that's not the point of why I'm doing this. See, I'm not doing this for money. Okay, I never was. Now I do it for my little money that I can make. That's cool. But I'm doing this for the purpose of it and for the training and getting me ready and showing people the journey that actually matters, the purpose and the testimony. That's all this is, man. You see, y'all don't understand. I don't really need to be monetized on here. I'm gonna figure out a way to get things done like I always have all the time, always. I don't need this. This is just extra stuff. This is what I enjoy doing. So that's what I do. I do what I enjoy. If you mad at me for that, well, you probably miserable and unhappy and don't know how to enjoy anything, right? Right? So, like I said, at the end of the day, we all know all the courtrooms are corrupt. We all know they're all a joke. We all know this justice system is a joke and it's a system of injustice, right? We all know that all these people that work these jobs are a joke and you can't even take them seriously. That's the truth, like I said. And most of them are public servants and don't even realize they work off of our tax dollars. They will literally sit there. I've seen it millions of times on these videos. I look at everything online. I've seen millions of these public servants, and that means all positions. Any kind of fake official, you're still a public servant. You work for us. You understand? That's reality. I don't care what you say. I'm not these other people. I would gladly tell all y'all to your face anytime. Anytime, bro. I wouldn't care who it was. You feel me? I would remind you real quick because that's the truth. You're a public servant. You can't change that. You don't have the power to. Like I said, that stuff works with other people, peons and simpletons and naive people in the public. But when they talking to a wealthy white man who got power and actually paid all the money to handle all the stuff he owns and is on top of his game, yeah, they got to just be quiet, sit down, and listen. Yeah. No, you a public servant. You work off my tax dollars. When I pay taxes of any kind, right? Whether that be land taxes, any kind of tax, even a tax on my Starburst candy, guess what? That provides your salary and wage. That's a fact. So you work for me. You feel me? And like I said, people don't do their job, so they really don't work for me, and they don't work for us because they refuse to do their job, and that's perfectly fine. You have free will. I don't care. But my whole point is, if people don't want to do their job, resign. You feel me? Because public servants don't have any say so in anything, man. Much less do they have any authority or power. That's a joke. You feel me? And that's what it is. What's this system and this society has become is just a cesspool of corruption and a cesspool of people who are jealous. Do you think that we're afraid of any of y'all? Come on, bro. These are all people who, like I said, the truth is that they're all nobodies. They're all broke and in poverty, and they all know it, and they know they're never going to be successful. So their new game is let's get together as narcissists and try to prey on innocent people like me who've actually been successful. And they think we're going to like live in fear and be scared of them and what they can do as if they have any power. Like I said, man, every single one of your organizations, all those agencies are all corrupt. They be doing rituals at night in red robes. Ain't hearing nothing you talking about. You can be quiet. Like the other people, like I said, are stealing your information. They got call centers filled with scam artists. They doing tons of illegal activity. They get away with it. None of these so-called whatever these public servants do anything about it. So all I hear, and this is not just from me, this is from millions of people all over the world, is nobody's doing their job. Nobody's doing anything. Like I said, it's common sense. It's going to handle itself. It'll all solve itself because the public and the people are going to continue to uprise and continue to speak and continue to stand up against all of you who refuse to do your job until you have to do your job. That's the way it's going to work. If you look at New York, they have all these public servants going on strike right now. Why? because they claim, oh, the conditions are too bad or whatever. There's nothing wrong with their conditions, man. That's an excuse. What it is like I said, they just don't want to do their job. That's how I look at it. And whatever their gripes are with the system, I mean, that's all good. That's good. Stand up to the system. That's what they should be doing. People in the military was doing that a long time ago, saying they didn't agree with the missions that the government was sending them out on. How could you? We all know the government's evil. The Bush family was birthed from a Lister Crowley. Lister Crowley was the most wickedest man who ever walked the planet. He literally is the devil himself, basically. I mean, it's common sense that the military industrial complex is evil. They're who was putting stuff in my food back in the day, and they set me up and told these other people what to do, right? Which, again, I mean, I won in that. I won in everything, bro. Anything that I've ever been in, I've won. And trust me, it's not easy to win when you're dealing with cowards and snitches because you have to win on both aspects. You got to win standing up to them, and then you got to win and make sure that they ain't trying to rat and twist details and lie and cause you any trouble or problems. You feel me? See, people want to talk, but they don't walk the walk like me. See, it's different when you walk in the walk. Y'all can never walk in my shoes. You feel me? By the way, I sound a little better right now, huh? Right? Yeah, yeah. I know you mad. I know y'all mad about that. I sound a little bit more like the old Tyree Sneed, right? Like I said, man, I'm working, man. Every fiber of my being is going into to trying to heal and healing and trying to get through this and get this show on the road and get all this going and get this, where it's supposed to be, man. Which I don't understand, bro, is like I said, I truly 100% believe without any doubt that God is going to bless me with millions of dollars, maybe billions, maybe trillions, right? Here's the point. Look at how efficient I am already with, hell, little to no budget. Imagine where I'm going to be with all that money. Imagine how much power I'm going to have. Imagine what I can accomplish. Y'all don't even realize, bro, I know how to do everything cheap now and excel and do things in just such a more constructive, productive way, seriously, that when you give me all that money, man, it's just going to be so much easier. And I'm going to be able to be frugal where I really don't have to spend a whole lot. And we're not going to have to worry about spending because we're going to have way more than enough. I'm just saying, bro. I mean, that's all I'm going to be doing is, like I said, I need like a garage, but the right way. I want everything set up a certain way. I'm trying to explain it to Christina, but it's hard to explain. Like, I want to build like literally like our own bat cave. I want to get like everything the exact way that we want it for us. That's beautiful. That will unfold in time as we go to places and look at where we want to be at. You know what I mean? Because we're gonna have all of our own stuff. We're gonna have our own spot. We're gonna have multiple spots all over the country and probably the world. We're gonna get everything moving. You feel me? But my point is, I'm going to be spending my time working on stuff like that. I want to learn how to shape metal. Like I said, they got a class in Boston for metal shaping. I want to build like my own vehicles. I want to learn how to build engines. And I do believe 3D printers can maybe build engines too, which is what I figured. I already saw previews of videos on YouTube about it. So I mean, I'm going to be spending my time trying to build my own bat pods and meeting people who can do stuff like that because there's YouTube channels, bro. I can get in touch with them and say, hey, look, I got plenty of dough. We have plenty of dough because Christine and I are a team. We do everything together and say, we got plenty of dough. Like, I mean, and I wouldn't even tell them that. I would just say, hey, look, here's my price I'm offering. Can you build me something with this money? And if not, what do you charge? Because I'm not going to come way out of pocket for y'all. I'm not giving nobody nothing. That's what you got to understand. I'm going to help people and bless people the right way who are good people. But just random people and all you people who got your hands out and ain't no good, I'm not just going to give you money. I'm going to bless the people who deserve to be blessed because that's what the world's about. It's about if you earned it. You go to heaven if you're a good person. See, that's where I don't agree with all that stuff like scripture necessarily because they say you believe on faith and faith alone. Yeah, that's true. You know what I mean? But that's the thing. Y'all take everything literal. I think that's just speaking on the faith aspect. But I mean, you have to be a good person. You can't just run around doing evil deeds and then say, oh, I believe on faith. Nah, that's not how it works. You ain't getting into heaven if you ain't a good person. Period. If you go commit a bunch of crimes and do a bunch of evil in the world, I don't care how much you repent. You ain't getting into heaven like that. So I disagree. You know what I mean? And again, I think it was just saying on the faith aspect. I don't think it's saying that, but I disagree with anyone who believes that. You ain't getting into heaven just based off faith. No, you're not. You have to be a good person. You have to, because it's about how you treat other people, because that's what God is going to look at. Common sense. See, all you people so evil and so wicked and so self-righteous, you really convinced yourself of this delusion. That's all you have is this delusional world. Like I said, What are y'all winning, bro? Look at me. I look beautiful every day. I look better than Brad Pitt. I'm aging backwards, right? I got everything. I never lack. God provides. I got everything going for me. Like, I've had the most successful run financially out of anyone who's ever walked this planet. I may have spent more money than any of y'all, bro. Anyone. I don't care who it is that ever walked this planet. I've done everything, seen it all, been there. I've had fun in my life, and I continue to. Like I said, I get paid, bro, to ride a bicycle, bro. I get paid to ride my little bat pod and be Batman. Are you serious, bro? Like, it don't get no better than this. Like, boy, stop it, bro. I mean, you gotta understand, I don't work for the man. I mean, so like I said, when people just say random things to random people and don't know who they talking to, I got a job. It's just my job happens to be within my own media company. I'm my own media company. YouTube is just an avenue to promote. I got plenty of avenues I'm opening up to promote. I got another one. I got to send them in my ID and stuff, and they probably going to get that one too, where I can make money on that. You feel me? And it's the same type of deal, bro. It's all content. So, like I said, man, you people don't seem to get it, man. I may try to do that tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. I'll figure it out. But I just don't have time for people who foolish. You feel me? And like I said, I'm just telling you the truth, man. I'm just tired of all these so-called women. None of them were raised right. Like, all y'all's family units were messed up. Like, I'm just tired of all y'all, bro. All y'all do is run your mouth. And all of them that work for these companies, like, just be quiet, bro. First of all, don't ever comment on me. Don't ever try to talk to me no way. I'm not playing none of that. I'm not taking none of it. I'm gonna stand up to all of you in your face. Okay, you need to check my rap sheet and my history straight up of who I am. I don't take no lip off nobody. I don't care who you are, bro. You people are nothing, bro. You're a joke. Straight up, bro. So just understand, when you say my name, prepare for a response. It'll be the right response. It'll be verbal, but prepare for a response. You see, understand, if you walk up to me and you be some kind of way that's not respectful, I'm going to address you. I'll address anybody. I don't care who it is. And I address people in person to their face, and I address them through here, through my channel. Because this is my business. I'm the CEO of my own company. What are you talking about, homie? Little homie at that. Billions in equity, baby. Mansion and estate. Over 2,000 in jewelry. My own car lot. I pay over $100 for it every month. What? Wear 530 on my wrist. What are y'all talking about, man? Huh? Website worth over 2 grand. Huh? What you talking about? Yeah, I'm from the hood for real, bro. Like I said, don't play this ghetto game with me. Y'all are not ghetto. You're poor and broke. There's a difference. You're not educated or intellectual or intelligent. You're desperate. Feel me? Like I said, anyone, first thing, anyone works fast food, you a failure. I'm sorry, you failed in life. You lost. So don't ever fix your lips to say something about me, straight up, bro, because that's just embarrassing and crazy, is it not? Imagine trying to talk to a guy who's had over 300,000 in a bank account. That's like these people when they be calling and talking to these other failures. That's what they do, failures and failures, and then y'all be trying to say something to me that's not reality and act like I care, act like I'm going to get in my feelings over things I can't control when I'm doing the best I can and more than anyone. What? Like, no, see, you all think that I exist for you. I exist for me. I exist to hustle and do what I need to do for me and put myself in the best situation. I'm number one and I come first. That's how it is, man. Like I said, I've done everything for everybody else. I help everyone else. I take care of everyone else. I don't have any responsibilities though to anyone. That's the facts. Feel me? I got people mad, bro. I got people pressed and triggered on here. Like I said, I'm free in the world to do what I want. I'm goody. Like, I love it, man. Stress free, sucker free, all day, baby. Right? Like I said, I'm 6'2", right? What are y'all talking about? 100, I'm about 150 something right now. I'm usually like 165, right? I mean, all I do is run, walk, work out, do pull-ups, dips, calisthenics, push-ups. I mean, it is what it is. And with the working out, I'm probably going to get back into the push-ups. I'm going to start doing a lot of exercises to try to build up like my upper pectorals, like my chest, because I want to build my body a certain way. I can already see I'm getting huge. I mean, my arms are ridiculous, the definition. And like I said, I look skinny, so people constantly underestimate me. And it's like, that's what I want people to do. People don't underestimate me my whole life, man. I ain't took an L yet. And I'm talking about in the streets. Remember, I'm in the streets every day for a career. I'm Batman for a career. I stop what you people can't. I do what you people refuse to do and can't do. You're not capable. All y'all are soft. Yeah, I run the streets. Hold up. Remember, I do the real thing. I am the real thing. I'm Batman, right? So it's like, I could care less what people have to say, man. Like, they can keep my name out their mouth. They already know what's good and know exactly what it is. Everybody knows what it is, and that's what so-called women try to do. They try to pretend. They try to be flaky. But so-called women been doing this. I've watched it my entire life, man. Even when I was little or when I was young, like y'all pathetic, bro. All y'all just like cruel for no reason to everybody. Like, go ahead and do you. Why do you think people care? That's like when you get on this network and then you got a bunch of dudes who simps and deal with women who not even a real, breed. Like they not good looking at all. They just nothing. And and they be talking about women on here because they want women so bad. It's like, what do you want to deal with them for when you don't even know what you're getting yourself into? And then they be having arguments and whatever, bickering back and forth. It's like, if you were smart and had a brain, you would already known that's what it was going to be. Because these are pigeons. Okay, you understand? Like all most of these so-called women, they're straight pigeons, bro. They do not know how to think. Straight up, bro. That's what y'all don't get, man. Like I said, nah, most so-called women, they just chase fake money. They chase whatever status. They just chase whatever, and it's just all fake and a waste of your time. And they're a waste of time. And they'll do dumb things too and put themselves in horrible positions because they jealous of you and just don't want to see you win. You feel me? That's all that is. That's all they do. That's all they've ever done, from what I've seen. I ain't never really seen them do anything different, if you want me to be honest. Like I've really been recollecting and thinking about this. Like I look back on my life, I'm like, Miss Lourdes was my pre-K teacher, right? She did some crazy stuff, like and my parents had to actually go to the school and like talk to them and stuff. I think eventually they did because I opened my mouth about it eventually. You know what I mean? And like she didn't do much, but she tried. And like that was another lady. Like, why is it always the ones who like way overweight and out of shape too? Because they got a chip on their shoulder. You ever notice that? Like that's the world, man. Like I said, you got these people, they've got to be spending 30K on surgeries and stuff for liposuction and all sorts of stuff, and then be the ladies out here in the valley that are able to make some dough and they can barely walk. How does it make sense to suspend a license of the best driver in the valley, Tyree Sneed, right, with fake stuff? Like I said, got all that paid and taken care of, and then you got the issue in another county because of some more fake tickets that I proved that it was fake in McAllen in the window of a place. I took the video and proved it, right? So I proved that your officials lied because they're corrupt, right? So, like I said, my license isn't supposed to be suspended. You should be giving me that back for free. I don't owe you nothing. That's the facts. You cannot twist the facts. The truth is the truth, right? So that's number one. Then number two, when you try to run with your lies and do what you do, it's like, I don't care. That's like I said, like people in the valley telling themselves what they want to hear. You can say whatever you want to yourself to cope with the reality you can't handle. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Feel me? Oh, I wasn't done with my list of stuff I own, right? I got mineral rights, oil royalties. I got this platform and business. I'm the CEO of my own media company. I'm monetized on here. So looks like I got everything going for me, actually, and I'm in the perfect position. That's the reality. And I've stood up to everyone, everything. I haven't succumbed to anything. I've overcome every impossible obstacle. Literally, I've taken on things that I wasn't even supposed to make it out of, like this entire time in front of your face. And I just continue to be the real Batman. Like I said, I have affected everything in a positive way. I don't care what nobody says, man. Straight up. I don't care what you talking about, bro. You understand? Oh, and I've made it 100% a completely safe environment. When y'all be sending them fools on social media to say fake stuff, the streets are this or that. Y'all ain't in the streets. I'm in the streets. I can tell you the streets quiet as a mouse, bro. You know what I mean? Now you got some random stuff that happened here and there. Like, I mean, it's just like the movie where Batman says, "What? It's a big city. I can't be everywhere." Y'all expect too much out of Batman, man. They be talking about that I'm dropping the ball or what. I'm not dropping the ball. You all expect me to be in Harlingen and all these different places. I mean, like I said, pay up. Where's the donations at? You want Batman to operate somewhere? I mean, what's like? That's what I'm saying. How people going to talk down and talk about money when you got a whole valley that could have been funded me? They could have been done, got me at least give me a motorcycle, bro, and give me the money to get my license unsuspended. That's all. Straight up. You know what I mean? Like that's just crazy to me, man. Nobody can tell me nothing, bro, because it shouldn't even be that big of a deal. It's never been a big deal for me when I had money. You feel me? I'm not claiming to be anything that I'm not. I'm not claiming to have anything that I'm not. I know what I do. Like I said, I knew my plan because my plan was about building a solid base to operate from, and that's what I've done. I've accomplished everything. Like I said, nah, I own billions in equity, man. I got access to buildings, bro. Y'all can miss me with what you talking about. I made every right arrangement and decision for me in my life, straight up. Like I said, had bank accounts with over $300,000 in them. Schwab literally said they deleted the bank records to my face. They can lie all they want or whatever, like all y'all companies do. That's what they told me to my face. That's illegal, right? Government did that because they targeted me, I guess, right? It makes no sense. You can't delete somebody's bank records. That's illegal. That has to be like a felony, bro. I don't care what y'all say, bro. And then they closed my account, which again seems illegal. I mean, they had no right to. I was still, using it and doing stuff. So they did all that. And then I think they sent me like a corny little check of whatever was left, right? But the whole point is, I've had bank accounts with over $300,000 in them. I've sold 50-acre properties for 100,000. I've made millions every year consecutively, untaxable income too. I don't know what y'all talking about, man. You know what I mean? It's just like when these scammers and illegal people asking me, "Have you done this?" or blah blah blah. No, I haven't, and I'm never going to. What are you going to do about it? That's my question. Nothing, because I run this country and you all don't. This is my territory. My ancestors took this land. Like I said, you can look up John Beale Sneed. We run everything, and like I said, all this land belongs to me. That's what people don't get. Like, nah, I was real smart when I sold that 50-acre property because I told y'all I was going to make sure that I was good and I was in the right environment. Because when y'all had that property with everything, and like I said, when I actually got a hold of that property at all in any way, shape, or form, it was already unlivable and completely messed up because y'all did that on purpose. And that's going to come out in the lawsuit too. That, like I said, a lawyer is going to take pro bono probably because it already came out in the reading, right? I'm gonna be able to sue Carly Fiorina, right? Y'all stole my inheritance, right? Not allegedly, that's a fact, right? But we'll say allegedly. But my inheritance was stolen, so I got to get all that back. You got to pay me all my money. You got, what I mean, if you buried the money allegedly, then you still got to pay me that money. All them figures or all them documents. I mean, you can't hide all that. It's gonna come out. You know what I mean? Then you got properties. I know I probably got properties in Cali right now. I bet you anything that belong to me. You feel me? That they've been living in for who knows how many years. And I mean, that's the thing. That's not winning in anything, especially in life. That's not getting at anyone. That's some coward, silly stuff and a silly, dumb decision to make. And that sounds like Carly Fiorina written all over it. That sounds like all of you people. Yeah, no, you're all connected, and like I said, they sent all of you. And then when I find out even more so that all y'all are a big illegal organization, what I call the Red Triangles, I've called them the label. That's what they are. I've called them the Red Triangles. That's the name. That's what it is, right? The Red Triangles are all going to prison. Every single one of you, every member of that illegal underground organization, you will be taken to court. I'm filing a lawsuit, and you're going to receive a subpoena. You're going to have to come to court. It's that simple. You can't run around online and do acts of domestic you know what and then expect to just walk away free, scot free, and not go to prison. So, all of you on here on YouTube, half of you listening to me, if not all of you, can expect to go to prison. If you don't have any involvement in this, good, just stay out of it and stay out my way. Because if you interfere with my federal case, I'll have you put in prison too. You got that? Yeah, I don't play. Okay. You're the great Sam Gerard. Yes, I am. And you always have to win. Yes, I do. Yeah. So, like I said, remember who you're talking to. And then what you have to understand is me being Batman and doing what I do. See, this is the real thing. This is what you have to practice and have to learn and have to do. You can go to school all you want, but if you get into any field, right, whether it's law enforcement, I don't care if you go become a U.S. Marshal. See, that's the thing why y'all are wrong. Y'all say go get a college degree. That's fine. There's plenty of people who got college degrees and tried to become a U.S. Marshal or become law enforcement, and then crazy stuff, right? Nothing went their way, basically, right? Crazy stuff happened. Why? Because they weren't prepared, right, for the reality in the streets and the real thing when you're in that environment. It's totally different. See, me, I prepare myself for the real environment first, then we worry about the college degree because guess what? My safety and my life matters more than anything, correct? Not what you're talking about. So when you train people backwards in the wrong way, this is why nothing ever works out for anyone. This is why these departments can't even take care of themselves. They're not able to do anything right. I've seen videos of all sorts of stuff happening because they don't even know how to search people correctly. See, all that stuff, that's why I should be in a leadership position. One of the readings recently said you're a government official. I mean, that's what you should make me. I'm not that right now. I don't think I'm that. I'm a regular civilian and I don't claim to be anything but that. I just do my YouTube content and be Batman. Like I said, it's the perfect position to be in for what I do because I'm Batman. So I can do whatever the hell I want. You know what I mean? World's greatest detective, Batman, right? So at the end of the day, all this is preparation though to be able to go into a position like that any that I want. And like I said, my goal is at some point possibly to be a U.S. Marshal. Straight up. and I would be amazing at it. But whatever it is, if hold on, whatever it is, if it's any kind of law enforcement, I have to be in charge. I need to be the leader because I would stop all that stuff from happening, right? Because it's just common sense. If you do a search, I mean, if I was in that position, I would just say, well, make sure you do a completely thorough search every time, right? Even if it takes a few people, you're gonna have to make sure that this whatever criminal, whatever whoever they are, has nothing on them. Because I saw a video where they didn't do the search properly, and guess what? It costed somebody what? See what I'm saying? Because like I said, all these departments and people, they don't know how to do their job. You're just putting riffraff in these positions, bro. And anything can happen because you don't have any people with experience or mental knowledge or know-how of life and to do anything. If you don't have any life experience, bro, how are you going to deal with people? I did bar security for 6 years, man. You people will run around acting like the accolades I'm throwing out don't mean anything. That means a lot, bro, because that was basically practice for me. Because bar security, I'm going to tell you right now, is the most craziest thing you can ever do. And if anyone doesn't believe me, then you try it. Try doing what I did, bro. I did bar security for like two-story bars by myself, bro, and never even had a problem. Held it down. I had to take on like tons of people at once all the time, and I never had a problem I couldn't handle. That's a boss. Okay. So, when you don't seem to get the point, when you're doing bar security, you got bottles around, which is, self explanatory, right? I mean, that's the worst thing you can deal with is beer bottles being around. I mean, you've got everything in there. You've got people trying to bring stuff in the club. You got to deal with people throwing up they set in they hood and thinking they super gangsta and they all drunk. Like, trust me, bro. I've come up against dudes about 3, 4 times my size and had them crying basically and won every single time. Yeah, straight up. I don't know what you're talking about, man. Y'all can say what you want, but like big dudes, like especially the big dudes, it doesn't matter big or small. But when I was doing bar security, I got witnesses, bro. People seen me just literally like just use my hands and just do like a simple little push, like a little shove. I mean, people were flying like 10 feet, bro. You feel me? Y'all don't seem to get how strong I am. I've been doing strength training my whole life, bro. This ain't fake, man. People figured it out real quick that it wasn't fake everywhere I was at. That's why, like I said, I established a name. If I wanted to go back into bar security, I could establish a name real quick if I landed a job where somebody would quit being a ringer and weird and trying to mess me over and quit playing these fake games. I don't let nobody play with me and just let me do the real thing in my real job the way it's supposed to be done. Feel me? It's like when Brandon was like, one day you're gonna blah blah blah. Like, will like make a mistake with what I do because I'm aggressive, and he's like, and they're gonna sue us. Like, no, I'm not, because I know exactly what I'm doing. And did that ever happen? No. Actually, I never had a problem ever. I did bar security for like 6 years, bro. I worked on half the bars on Sixth Street, and I worked on some in Rainy a little, and on some on West Sixth. Never had an issue, basically. Never had a crazy incident. I mean, there was people, okay, walking out of work at that time, okay, when I was working 2 jobs after y'all did that stunt you pulled with Dizzy Rooster, which was not a negative, it was a positive. I went working 2 jobs. You escalated my money again. That's all you ever will do is create more opportunity for me and more money. Hold up. There was people leaving work, okay, and coming back with like just from stuff in the streets, whoever they were running into with like their whole jaw wired shut. What happened? These are like white boys. Okay. It happened to all sorts of dudes. I've seen all sorts of stuff in Austin. See, that's the thing. Like I said, y'all don't seem to get it. Like, part of me thinks about, taking a little vacation and traveling and going to Austin. But every time I go to Austin, man, I got to deal with that weird vibe in the air. Like, it's just super unsafe. And it's not that I'm scared of it. I've done it a million times and I overcome anything, every single time. But it's like, what about that one time that I may not be able to? You know what I'm saying? And not saying that that even exists, but even not, why put myself in that situation and environment if I don't have to? You feel me? That's where I'm at with it, thinking about it. You feel me? So it's like I'm considering it, but I'd rather do it with money. That way I can do things the right way. You feel me? Because then I don't have to worry about it. I mean, you still have, see, that's what's so weird about Austin. You could have $1 million and walk down the street and still have to deal with somebody who's homeless, like getting at you. Do you understand that? That's why I think it's crazy when y'all talk about money, because y'all never been in the real world. You don't know how things work. Like, it doesn't matter who you are, man. Me, anybody, even me, I could lose everything any day if I had a whole bunch of money. That's why I do the training and make sure I'm street oriented first and make sure I run the streets and take all that over and do the physical aspect first and the gangsta aspect first because that's what matters. See, people don't understand. I'm a genius, man. Don't ever question my methods. There's a method to my madness. My methodology makes perfect sense. Like Sixth Street, I take over that strip every time I go over there. Same thing with Guadalupe. I don't care what y'all say. I run everything. Real talk. And everybody knows it. So it's like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. Like I said, I'm from Austin, Texas, bro. We are not built the same, man. And I don't like act like most of them. I don't even get along with most of them, straight up. You know what I mean? I'd be getting at them like I can't deal with most of them. I'm like a wild animal, bro. I'm the real deal. I've been through everything, bro. I've been in and out of jail. I've been in and out of shelters. I've been out of everything, the system. I've been in and out of cop cars a million times. Like I'm really the real deal, bro. I come from the real hood, the real ghettos. I was in Bankhead, like I said. Like nah, homie, we not the same, bro. You put me around these little sheltered fools, it's nothing, bro. And what's crazy is I blend in, so people be talking to me and they'll think they can get away with saying little slick stuff, and then I'd be G checking the hell out of everybody. That's what I do in Austin. Straight up, people don't get away with nothing with me. People be running their mouth. I make sure I check every single one of them. I don't care who you are, especially at this point. And that's my point. I don't want to walk around like mad all the time or having to sit there and argue. And like, me personally, to be honest, I'm not a talker. You know what I mean? Like, everybody knows who I am and how I get down and how I do things, man. My whole rap sheet, my history says it all, man. I'm just saying the truth, bro. Gangsters don't talk. You know what I mean? Gangsters just get busy. Gangsters don't put up or tolerate nothing with nothing. You feel me? So that's the thing why like I have a hard time in Austin because I have to kind of try to check myself still, because there's repercussions. That's just how it works. There's laws, there's repercussions, and you can't just be Mr. Super Thug and Super Gangster all the time because it's not going to work out conducive to your environment and what you're trying to do. And you can, but you're going to have to handle everything verbally. You know what I'm saying? And I mean that's the deal. The deal is if somebody, starts trying to do anything more, then I got to defend myself. And that's not a good situation for me to be in. That's why all this internet stuff you can miss me with, bro, because y'all already know what it is, just like you knew what it was day one. Feel me? Yeah, we don't tolerate nothing, but we don't play people's silly games either. You play silly games, you win what? Silly prizes. It's common sense. I don't let nobody trick me out of my throne or cause me no troubles. I would never ever put myself in no legal trouble, much less nobody's worth that, especially none of y'all. Do you feel me? I would never do that. I cherish my freedom. My freedom means everything, and my future means everything. Like I said, I see people make one mistake. That's what's so crazy to me, man. You could be a wannabe tough guy on YouTube and the internet. Let's get real with ourselves. And you could do one of these things like where y'all be like, oh, well, meet me over here. You could actually do that, and two people could meet up, two dudes, and I guarantee you, both of them, if not one, could get a life sentence. That's how quick it happens just because you wanted to sit there and prove something to who? The invisible ghost of YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Like we grown folks, bro. We grown men. Like trust me, I come from all that. I was the master of the pull up game. All I did was pull up my whole life. I've handled everything. I don't have no beef because I already stood up and defeated all my enemies. I took on witches, covens, Freemasons, everybody. I ain't taking an L yet. I'm talking. I stood up to street gangs by myself and won tons of different people. I shut down cartel operations. I defeated the cartel decades before that. I'm not hearing what nobody talking about. I run the streets for real. But my whole point is when people talk and run their mouth, of course we not going to put up with nothing because you know who we is, right? You should know who I am. And that's my point. When you live the way I live, like it's tattooed below my neck, no dishonor whatsoever. We don't accept it. It's respect or nothing. You feel me? We just move different. And see, that's the thing in this society when you're dealing with all these ringers and the ringling twins and all these circus act people and, jokers, you got to make sure that you don't let them try to manipulate the game because they're going to try they're going to pretend they try and do this slick talking, right? Because they want you to come undone. That's what they think they want. They don't really want that, right? Because they can never handle it. Because, I mean, my whole life, I always gave people what they want and they could never deal with it. You know what I mean? People think that that's the game they want to play. It works with some people who are weak. It don't work with me. You feel me? The fact is, I could do whatever I want and handle any situation anyway, and still be aggressive and be a man and put you in your place and not back down. And that's the way I do it. But I'm smart about how I do it now. You see what I'm saying? You can still win and stand up to people and be aggressive and a gangster, but you still got to be smart enough to not let them trick you off your throne. You still got to have self control. See, I'm in complete control of my emotions. I'm like a computer system now. Everything is business, business, business until it comes to Christina and the love that I have for her and being in love. Outside of Christina and anyone else in the world, Christina is all true love. The rest of the world is nothing but business to me. I'm looking at it all from a gangsta business perspective that I want to take your cookies straight up, meaning whatever the hell, like, well, whatever I can gain, especially in business, whatever I can get, whatever I can take, I want straight up. I'm trying to take everything. I don't care what nobody talking about. That's what time it's for. Like I said, and if you a thug or a gangster, you better deliver like Tupac said. If not, I'm gonna destroy your empire. That's what time is for. Like I said, people run their mouth. I'm gonna get your company shut down. I'm gonna get you to lose your job, and I'm gonna get you thrown in prison. And I don't have to snitch to do it. You feel me? Like people don't understand. I got Empower Network shut down. Like I said, do your research. They were them people that were addicts. Okay, I think it was David Wood and David Sharp. They ran to Puerto Rico to pretend they was rich. They was still poor. They was cutting fake checks for people, big checks that are like bigger than us, right? And all that fake nonsense. I got them shut down because I exposed them publicly. Hmm. And I had paid the money to join the network, so I figured out how it worked. Common sense. And I came in with pure intentions. Like I said, that's just how it went. But when I spoke about them publicly, that's when they got shut down. So don't tell me I didn't have an impact because I did. Feel me? Other than that, like I said, I've seen other ones that are pyramid schemes. Haven't really heard about them in a long time. So maybe I ended up getting them shut down already too. I don't know. But all I do is expose the truth. It's never personal with me. It's just about what's right and what's wrong. If you're doing something wrong, I mean, I'm going to see to it that you fail and you lose straight up. And if I can, I'm going to see to it that you get all your karma and everything you deserve and go to prison. Yeah, because that's the way it's supposed to be. See, that's justice. See, my job is to uphold justice because I'm appointed by God. So there's nothing you can do about it. That's why all y'all scared and shook and run away just like you ran away in the street already. I already won in the street. We won in the street decades ago. And then we just keep winning in the street because, like I said, I welcome all oncomers and all challengers. I don't care who you are, bro. Straight up. You can bring the toughest guy. You can bring the toughest 80 million people. You're going to lose. You're going to lose with Tyree Sneed every single time. I don't care how the cookie crumbles, you're going to lose. You feel me? See, people don't understand me. I'm like a computer of like, you know exactly what it is, bro. My mindset is totally different, bro. I'm a genius, man. I ain't all this fake stuff. You feel me? So, like I said, y'all know what's good. You know what it is. Like I said, 99% of you out here in the public or watching my channel or whatever, save it, man. I'm not hearing nothing you talking about. Y'all don't even come from the streets. None of y'all. None of y'all even know anything of what I'm talking about. We come from two totally different lifestyles, partner. You feel me? If you want to disrespect me so bad, like I said, whoever wants to do that, I mean, that's something you do in person in front of me. Since people can't do that, and that's proven for the past 35 years of my life, and I'm only 35. I mean, we can go ahead and forget about that nonsense. All right, feel me, cuzzy? You know what I mean? So, like I said, I should be able to open a chat and not have somebody just sitting there trying to type to be petty. That's crazy because I've explained it to you, so you can't act like you didn't hear me. Feel me? That's the corny energy that I don't deal with, man. I don't deal with corny energies. I don't do fake talk. I don't have the patience and I don't need to have the patience. You all need to learn how to walk away when you lose. You failed, you lost. Like I said, my rap career took off. I went worldwide. I'm the only artist that ever went worldwide independently. My website's worth over 2 grand. Like I said, I own the site. I paid for that when I was in that Kentucky thing and the church thing. So, I mean, that should be good through the fall, I believe. I'll have to check that too when I can. I have to constantly stay on top of everything, bro. Like I said, the phone is paid for until what, the 21st, right? So I'm a little ahead of schedule on everything, you know what I mean? Even though I'm not anywhere near where I want to be, I'm doing all right. You feel me? Well, what does it matter? You know what I mean? But that's the thing I don't agree with, man. Why do they keep telling me what to do? I'm tired of hearing y'all fake readers and all y'all hiding behind the name of God. Like, whatever God wants me to do, God can tell me himself. You feel me? I think I know I'm doing everything right. You feel me? And I listen to some of them because some of them be spot on and they be right in what they telling me. But you just gotta understand, bro. I mean, where's my blessings, bro? I'm been patient as hell, man. Like this is, it's ridiculous, man. It's taking way too long. It's taking forever, bro. It should not take this long, bro. It really shouldn't, man. I've been waiting for years now, and that's all right. I'll be patient and wait all day for God, and I'll be patient and wait on everything, especially when it comes to Christina. And everything I'm saying right now has nothing to do with Christina, but with Christina, I'll wait forever. You feel me? That's what you people don't get. And like I said, I'm already Gucci. I'm already gravy. I already got everything I need. God provides. Feel me? So like I said, these people mad, like I said, they just stay getting their karma, they stay swimming in their karma, they all getting what they deserve, and I'm laughing at you. Feel me? How about that? Feel me? Other than that, I mean, it is what it is, man. Like I said, Batman has achieved amazing results and done a real thing. I got real power. I got real political power. I'm an independent politician. And it just is what it is at the end of the day, man. Like I said, I mean, that's the thing, man. All I need is the money and the budget because that's the next step. And then I can go into politics. I can run for office, bro. There's all sorts of things I can do, man. That's what y'all don't understand. Like, I mean, I really think that's the future. I think the world is definitely ready for a politician who's Batman. Straight up, whether it's secret or not, I just believe it. I think that the public would be like, bro, like that's who we need. We need an actual Batman that's a politician too, because that's the only type of person that's going to understand the plight and the struggle that we go through in the streets or everyday life or trying to survive. Is somebody who's been there. That's why Carly Fiorina always lost those fake elections that were already rigged anyway, because she's a liar and because she can never win over the people because she's not a people's person. My dad said that. My dad said that. You understand? And like I said, I think her and all these corrupt people had everything to do with what happened to my father, which is part of why I'm Batman. See, I'm the real thing, bro. I've been through the real things behind it, and it hasn't been easy, trust me at all. You know what I mean? Like I said, I've carried a lot of pain with me for a long time, bro. You know what I mean? But like I said, man, just understand I'm making every right move for me, just like I've always done, and Batman is coming, bro. So be ready. You feel me? Like it is what it is, man. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like I said, we run the rap game, we run the media game, we run the YouTube game, we run this network, we run you Masons, we run you witches covens. We don't run you, but we got you shut down as far as the Masons and the witches covens, But I own all y'all. Last I checked, right? So I own you, Penguin, right? I own all y'all. Feel me? So I could care less what any of y'all talking about, man. My whole deal is, man, just stand on what you're saying, man. If you're gonna say something, you're gonna talk. It better be real. Like I said, see, people think they can talk to me funny style, like I'm part of a system. I don't answer to nobody in no system. You talking to an independent entity. You better talk to me, right? I don't play these games. I don't care who you is. You feel me? Like I said, bro, people want to underestimate me and play these fake games. Like I said, I ain't seen nobody in person. Nobody, not from the internet. Nobody. These people have made it like a drought, like where it's some weird environment where we can't talk, we can't be transparent, we can't meet up and have a pizza party. I mean, it's just sad, honestly. Like I said, when I came to the valley, I was excited about everything. Like I said, including with Penguin. When Penguin said he wanted to hang out, I was all for it. But like I said, you didn't want to listen. You wanted to keep hanging out with these evil criminals and evil people and your evil brother and keep showing that you're evil. And then him and you want to keep saying negativity like you got some kind of problem. Where's the problem at? Apparently you don't have a problem, right? Like I said, I mean, I don't have any problem with you. I don't know what you're talking about. So like I said, it's just corny, bro. I've said the truth and I stand on the truth. That was a cover up what you did to Tia, your own wife, Penguin, and it's a public issue now. I don't care what you say and what you did to Sonic, and you running from that truth. What does that have to do with relations with Batman? That don't make no sense. You know what I mean? Like, listen, homie, God forgives when you repent. He can't forgive everything, but that's between you and God. You feel me? Like I said, you have some resources. You could have been helped. You could have been put me on. You don't have a YouTube career because of you, because you wanted to go against me instead of working with me. See, all the people who want to do this, it's their fault. They are who's to blame. Like I said, that brother, he was nothing but rude for no reason. I called him out on it during that summer and you ran. Then you ran on camera when I was turned around and I didn't even know you was there and you was recording me. That's illegal as hell. That's stalking, right? Then Penguin was following me, doing all these crazy crimes. So you go to prison for that. So I mean, Penguin, you and the brother you looking at a prison sentence no matter what. What does that have to do with relations with me? See, you never approached me in any instance without malice and malintent. That don't make no sense because I don't even have an issue with you, bro. I don't. You have to understand. You all just don't exist to me, man. And all the people around you, they nobodies, bro. All y'all broken in poverty land, and you just jealous because you not ghetto, you not from the hood, right? You don't know me. You build nothing like me, and we've seen that because every time y'all try to pretend you approaching me, you don't, and you're clearly shook, and you're terrified of the Batman, and you're scared. You go online making up stories like a woman. You sit on here gossiping like a woman. I mean, it's clear what you were raised by. right? And that's a so-called woman. That ain't no real woman. So, like I said, all the people around you a joke. You feel me? And when we and Christina get married, like I said, we ain't gonna get married on no beach with no beach lawn chairs. You feel me? We ain't gonna do no poverty fake wedding with fake love and fake cake, right? We gonna have a real wedding. You feel me? That's beautiful and extravagant, what we deserve. You feel me? What God gonna give me with. If God gonna give me something, He gonna give it to me right. You feel me? Like I said, I'm content with my life, man. I'm satisfied. I've done it all, seen it all, been there. I've proven something to myself that no human being that's ever walked this planet could prove to themselves. And that's that I can make it through anything, that it's not about making it through it, but that I have willed myself through everything and to get to this point. There is nobody else who could walk in my shoes. I tell you that confidently. The reason why I've been chosen by God to be Batman and do what I do is because no one else can do it, just like they said in that movie. And those movies all depict my story of my life, and I'm really Batman. That's the truth. Anyone trying to sugarcoat that or twist that or role reverse or change it in another story, they just jealous. They like Lazarus was to Jesus. They just here to cause confusion, like Pac said. That's all they're here to do. Just like I said, and what Pac said, I agree with the same statement. We doing the same thing. We're here to bring an entire new government that will feed all these people, that will feed all of New York. I'm coming to take New York over. Y'all gonna understand what we doing here. I'm not just some, like, when I hand the channel to people, like, you got to catch up, bro. I don't care what you tell yourself or who you think you listening to. You listening to a boss. I don't do no talking. I'm the real deal. Yeah, I made and spent more money than the entire government. All you people fake. I go through this phase every time. I go through my little broke struggle, my broke hustle, that I still do better than all these people online and all y'all. And then I bounce back and make more money every time. This time I'm supposed to get more than I've ever had. That's what I believe going to happen. You feel me? And I'll leave room for error, but I believe it 100%. There's not a doubt in my mind. You couldn't convince me otherwise. I've had downloads and readings and spirits and ancestors and God telling me this stuff for what, about a year, 2 years now. I mean, I could just feel it getting closer and closer. I mean, every day basically God tells me it's coming. It's right around the corner. You're about to get blessed. So I mean, if it didn't happen, it wouldn't make no sense. You feel me? Like I said, my inheritance was stolen. They got to give me that back. That's a guarantee. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter when, but I mean, it kind of does. But they need to get on that and give me my money. Give me my money. All y'all who stole my money behind my back because you're all cowards, give me my money. You feel me? See, we all need money in order to live and do what we have to do, man. I need my money that I earned and is rightfully mine and I deserve. You feel me? They never gave it to me. And I told you that, just like they played games with that property to where I never could enjoy it or do what I wanted. And it's all good, man, because when people treat you like that and family does you like that, that's just karma, man. It's common sense. You know what I mean? They're going to get their karma and everything's going to come back to them. It's tenfold. That's common sense. You know what I mean? Like, nah, bro, all these people evil, man. I'm sitting here living my life. I don't got time to be worrying about who's trying to, do me in and whatever behind my back. That's common sense. Feel me? I've had a great run, man. I've done it all, man. Like I said, all that stuff they owe me and they gonna have to give me regardless. So it is what it is. You feel me? And like I said, when I get my money, now I've got all these skills and all this talent and all this strength and will and just knowledge and intelligence. God has really been teaching me, man. I'm being honest, bro. He's put me on a whole nother level in every aspect of the game. You know what I mean? So it's like all this, I understand how it's preparing me. And I told you that's one of the goals is I'm going to New York. I'm gonna be Batman in New York. New York is gonna be Gotham. There might be another place that's the real Gotham. There may be several places. I want to do this all over the country and the world. But I'm talking about the real thing. I'm talking about we got to create the whole thing where I can do the grappling, like where I can literally like attach to buildings and be able to swing and catapult myself to another side and catch myself midair. I have to practice all that. Do you all understand how real this is? Do you understand why I'm doing all this training? Do you understand why I'm getting my legs super strong with this bicycle stuff? Y'all ain't getting it, are you, man? I think a lot of you are a little slow, man. I think most of them do get it, but I mean, like I said, bro, it's all practice, man. And all that bicycle training helps me for when I get on a bat pod. That's going to help a lot because I'm going to be used to it. See, that's the thing. Y'all think Batman didn't have to go through training. Even in the movie, man, Batman was going to have a lot of training. They just didn't show you that. They didn't have time to in the film, of course. They're not going to show you all the training and years. You got to train for this stuff. It's not something you can just do. You could, but I mean, it's better if you train because then you're envisioning it and seeing it, and then you're ready for more. It's like in the Matrix, man. It's just different. Yeah. Hold up. Like I said, Batman was an angel, man. He has wings. I'm an angel. I told you I'm an earth angel. I'm an actual angel. Ain't no human being could walk away from what I've walked from physically, man, especially with that truck, bro. And it's on the channel, man. So, like I said, when people see me, just understand you're witnessing a real miracle in front of your eyes, man. Straight up. You know how many things I've been through physically that I survived that I wasn't supposed to? I'm a walking miracle, bro. I'm a walking testament. You feel me? And that's just the truth. So it's like that's my job. My job is to do God's will and God's work, nothing else. I don't have no beef. I don't have no problems. I say the truth about people. All I'm saying is if people don't like it, be a man and be a woman. You feel me? Like I said, we can have a conversation face to face anytime unless it's somebody who's been ducking me for years and then you don't get that option. You feel me? Nah, it don't work like that. I don't work on nobody else's time. You feel me? People have had more than an opportunity to face me and see me face to face and talk about whatever they gripes for, and people didn't want to do that. So miss me with that. The fact is, if you on YouTube, you all fans. If you come from the internet and YouTube, I'm not talking to you at all. We got nothing to talk about. I'm not meeting up with you. I'm not seeing you. You can get the hell away from me, and that's it. And like I said, if I see you, what is there to talk about? What am I gonna do? I'm gonna waste my time addressing you? No, I'm gonna just get the hell away from you, because I know what you want to do, which is drag me down and trip me off my throne. You're not tough, you some cowards. You feel me? No, I'm gonna be smart and make the right decision. I'll run. I'll run. I'll get the hell away from you. Straight up, you got to run from Satan, bro. Real talk. Sometimes you got to run from Satan. It ain't being a coward. That's what they do. They want to twist it. I don't care what y'all talk about on the internet, bro. The internet and YouTube don't have no power, bro. We run the streets, bro. I got power. Yeah, YouTube is nothing, and YouTube has to answer to me, and so does Google, because I'm taking it to court. Yeah, they have to pay me, bro. All this money that they owe me for everything I went through, they got to pay punitive damages. They got to pay for everything. So, like I said, at the end of the day, man, I'm a boss. I run the streets. I don't care what nobody tells you. They don't know me. They don't know nothing going on. And that's about it, man. Feel me? Like I said, I got real fans. That's cool. I have no idea the magnitude of it. I don't understand it still. So, just take it easy on me with that. I don't understand. So when y'all be telling me you're a fan or you got the channel, that's all new to me, man. I appreciate it. And anybody want to show love, I'm all for that. I appreciate it. I be getting honks. I be getting new people, like I said, going by saying Batman. People go out their way, man. People really love what I'm doing. And I appreciate that, man. The only thing that I'm upset about and that I'll ask for is I would like people to donate to help my cause. Like I said, I'm trying to get me enough money donated from the actual public, right, to get me like a motorcycle and stuff. That's what I need, and get my license unsuspended, get my license back. I'm trying to do everything the right way, like I always have. It's just impossible because, like I said, I got set up too many times and targeted for having too much money. You understand? If they tried to take half of everything I own, how in the hell would I have money, dude? And like I said, I proved them wrong. I proved them all liars, but they were doing so much corruption and illegal activity that I felt like they were just going to steal and do it anyway, through the law, twisting it, and it would be illegal, but I mean, they did tons of illegal stuff. That's why I got to take them to court, filing a bunch of lawsuits. You know what I mean? So it forced me to have to spend my money. That's the point. So it's like after that, yeah, I bounced back several times, made tons of money since then. But like I said, that was a different period of time. You understand? Now, I didn't make no mistakes. I told you all the pieces would come together and I'd bounce back, and that's what I'm doing. Now, the only thing missing is the money again. Feel me? So now that's in God's hands, man. Now it's up to God to bless me. I ain't make no mistakes, man. I did everything right. That's why God told me He's gonna bless me. He said, not because you did anything wrong, because you did everything right. I'm gonna bless you. Feel me? Because see, I ain't got nothing on my conscience. I've done nothing but protect myself, defend myself and my people, and take care of everyone and help everyone. And everybody owes me thousands upon thousands of dollars. You feel me? And I ain't even asked nobody for nothing really. I ain't even asked people to pay me back straight up. I would like people to pay me back, but they ain't going to. And most of them don't have any money anyway because they're all failures. You feel me? Because without me, all these people are nothing. That's the truth. So, like I said, anything else to say? Like I said, I run the rap circuit. If y'all want to rap, you need to be talking to me. I'm the CEO of Cashless Bang Records. Feel me? I have a real tangible record label and all resources for it. So, I mean, like I said, it's all up to the public, man. I'm trying to get some real donations, man. Hopefully, one day someone will hear me out there who's got some money, and is able to, help immediately right now, and they'll just donate me like a grand one day and a grand the next day through Cash App or whatever. That's what need to happen, because I got to get a budget of at least 10 to 20 G's at least and I could get this business off the ground, and I would be able to at least try to start touring the country a little bit and do this for real, you know. And either way, I would really need about 30 to 50 grand at least, if not really 100 plus. That's what I need. I need millions because you don't get what y'all don't understand is, all the stuff that I use is going to get expended. Things are going to mess up, just like in the film. You're going to go through things. I'm going to go through a lot of physical stuff. You know what I mean? I'm probably going to have a lot of injuries. Let's get real. Like, what I'm doing ain't fake, bro. This is real. I don't waste no time doing nothing fake. Anything I do is real. So you got to understand, I have to have the money to build all these suits. I got to build anything that gets messed up, that breaks anything, bro. If it's something I'm riding on, driving, it might mess up. An engine could mess up. Anything, bro. I have to have money to do everything I need to do. So, like I said, for me, I understand. Don't think I'm not patient. I'm patient as it gets, man. I'm just waiting and being patient. And I understand that, the waiting period has a purpose and it is what it is. But I'm just saying, when it come to music, it come to money, y'all can't tell me nothing. I'm who's been making it this entire time, my entire life. The people on YouTube, they've never even seen $200. None of them. They can't afford a hot dog. What is y'all talking about? That's all I'm asking. Like, we could talk about money, but be humble and be real with who you are. If you're not gonna talk facts, I ain't trying to talk, bro, because you ain't got no business talking to me about money because y'all ain't never seen none. I've seen it all. So that's all I'm saying is, like, trust me, if there's one thing I've had a lot of experience with, it's money. I know how to handle money. And like I said, this time around when I get it, yeah, I'm gonna be frugal as hell. I'm gonna be frugal. I'm gonna be generous. I'm gonna bless the right people though. And we're gonna rescue animals. Christina wants to rescue turtles. We're gonna do that. We're just gonna have fun and live life together, we're gonna live a humble, normal, happy life because I never had that. You feel me? So that's what I want to do. I won't say I never had that, but it's been a minute. You know what I mean? So, I don't know if I ever really did have that. It is what it is, man. But life is beautiful. You know what I mean? God is good. And like I said, man, I stay preaching and give all credit and glory to God no matter what. And that's just the choice that I made for me a long time ago and what I want to do in life. And I think it's the only way to live, man. I think any other way is wrong. And I think, worshiping anything else is wrong. And it just is what it is. It sounds to me like on here and in the world, you have a lot of people that just want to self justify. They want to bring self justification and adjudication to something that's just not real because they're all unrighteous and they're all just no good. That's the real truth. But like I said, this is why if you're out there, if you're, I don't care if you're the youth, if you're a guy and you're a dude, right? Like I said, I'm a role model for the youth, but this is for everyone. A message: do not run around acting like you're Billy Tough Guy all the time, right? Because what's going to happen if you make a mistake or you ain't really that and you don't know how to be that, and if you have to look up to a role model as far as being a man, look up to Batman straight up and how I do things, okay? Because if you don't know what you're doing, what's going to happen is you're going to make a mistake one day and you're going to end up like that dude on a podium in the middle of a courtroom, and you're going to be at the mercy of a so-called woman. I'm telling you right now, this is the truth. And if you listen to anything I ever say, any of y'all out there, listen to this. And you're going to be at the mercy of a so-called woman who has sat in college and school and law school for years. She is miserable. She is disgruntled. She has a bunch of pent-up, frustration, and she's going to take it all out on you. Her delusion, her illness, because they're all clinically insane, and she's going to take all of that stuff, including her PMSing and everything, out on you while you stand behind that podium and you're literally from a jail or a prison. She's going to take it out on you and she's going to sentence you as tough as she can because she has a chip on her shoulder and she don't like men. That's the truth. And that's the truth of this world. That's why I understand, like, the dudes I came up with in the hood that were from the other culture clearly, and they raised me like they were around me even when I was a kid. My dad raised me, but my dad had me around them all the time, right? That's why I got a lot of influence from them, from the real ones that was like smoking, black and milds and, drinking 40s, okay? And was really about it. So my whole point is just be careful with what you're doing and make the right decisions. Number one thing, man, is be a man. If you be a man, this Batman me, all I do is use my hands. I stand on my hands. I'm a man. I square up and I use my hands. I'm just telling you the truth. You feel me? Nothing else. I don't do nothing else. I don't nothing, none of that. And I think that's the way everyone should be. And until we come back to that and respect out of love instead of fear, we're gonna have problems in society. And I'm seeing a lot of people fall victim to it. I'm telling you, man, if you a dude out there, please do not make that mistake. Because you're going to get all them so-called women. They don't care. There's COs in these jails who women, they don't care about you. They all going to take advantage, and they look at us like we expendable, man. That's the truth. That's why I'm saying I understand the dudes I came with the grown men who were way older than me in Atlanta, who still kind of helped me out some of the time. You know, even if they was hating on me behind closed doors, they helped me out in certain ways, and they was kind of there for me. And my whole point is, they're who got me into rap or rapping, right? My whole point is, I remember one of them, he had an attitude like that, and he told like his own son, like, one day you're gonna be a you know what man, and ain't nobody gonna have no love for you, basically. And that's the truth. He understood the way this society is, how cold it is. I mean, society ain't got no love for men, man. They against us. So I'm just saying, bro, if you want to be a man, you should put your all into being a man. That's why me, I put my all into being Batman and doing this, because people see me, man, they so confused. And it's funny to me. It's like you're confused, but it's crystal clear. It has to be as soon as I give you the channel. Because what I'm doing, the purpose of it is so much greater than what you could fathom or imagine. Like what you walking across, you won the lottery. You basically met the second Jesus, the second coming of Christ, straight up. I'm God's son for real. I'm not talking about just one of his children's son. I'm talking about I am God's son. See, people don't understand who you might meet. You never know where I might be. You never know, like, never know, bro. God works in mysterious ways, man. That's all I got to say. And it's all real. So, like I said, at the end of the day, this is about changing lives and inspiring people and helping people. And that's what I do best. And that's all I do. All I've ever done is inspire people. This ain't new. That's how I know I'm going to get views, because I'm naturally inspiring. That's why people wish they could do what I do, but you ain't me, and you ain't no walking miracle, and you're not Batman. You don't have it in you. You ain't got the heart to be me, boy. None of y'all. Like I said, straight up, don't even miss me with the strength stuff. Like I said, I already showed up and showed out and showed all y'all. Y'all can't come close to me strength wise. Boy, be quiet. Have a seat and sit down and watch Daddy do his thing. Big Daddy. As I'm the only Big Daddy. You feel me? Other than that, it is what it is, man. Other than that, like I said, the rest of these people, I don't care about you. And quit saying my name if I don't know you, man. That stuff weird. Like, quick, like you calling out for me, or how does that song go? Crying out for me. That's these people. They never stop whining. Like Tyree, 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 Tyree. They're annoying. They're like a little hamster. They won't be quiet. You know, it's ridiculous. Like I said, that's what so-called women do. They try to talk over you so that they can try to force their agenda of nonsense onto you and pretend and play victim and pretend. And it doesn't work with Tyrese Need. Remember that. And now all of you people know. And like I said, I see fear in their eyes. These people know they messed up. You feel me? You don't do that. You don't go around pushing your weight around and acting like you're big stuff when you literally work these rinky dink jobs or you do fast food for a living. You don't do that. You understand? You just don't. It's common sense. You ain't big nothing. Okay? You need to do your job and be quiet. That's what you need to do. Straight up. You're nobody. And you're never going to be anybody because, like I said, if you work at these rinky dink establishments or you work fast food, you have no future and no career and no life. It's that simple. You're nobody. You feel me? And no, I don't need to waste my time being empathetic and sympathetic to some people who literally have no morals, no respect, and have no concept of reality and are nobody. I've worked too hard. Yeah, you're talking to a wealthy, rich guy. Remember that, bro. It ain't about cash. Like I said, holding cash is for suckers. I manifest millions of dollars. Boy, keep my name out your mouth and that's it. Don't act like y'all forgot who I am. You know exactly who you talking to. And if you don't, well, now you know. You should have already known. You feel me? Like I said, people need to get educated, man. Do your research, bro. And it ain't on the internet. Trust me. Feel me? So, like I said, man, it is what it is. And like I said, people feel anyway. They got no option anymore but to talk to me in my face in front of me. You feel me? Because I ain't seen it yet. Everybody shook. Everybody, man. Y'all funny as hell, man. Bunch of cowards. Oh, yo. Just like in that system, it ain't nothing but cowards. In all these jails, it ain't nothing but cowards. That's the truth. All y'all cowards. All y'all been the same. Trust me, I've seen the whole thing. I'm not going through nothing again. I already saw what all y'all have to offer in the world. It is what it is. I care less. I'm here to promote God and preach the word of God, and that's it. The gospel. Feel me? Word of God, actual love, actual truth. Feel me? That's all I got to say, man. Like I said, what I do is the greatest job you could ever have, which is to represent God and spread the word of God and bring people to God. You feel me? Now, I think all of you need a real job because I got one straight up. Yeah. And I make money doing what I do. So, I mean, that's good enough in itself, right? Never ever hate on somebody's hustle, man, or you clearly don't have one. Like I said, so who needs to get a job? All y'all. Like I said, all right. But yeah, that's what they do, man. They try to talk over you so they can try to push their agenda of nonsense, and that's what so-called women do. And you got to learn how to counteract and respond to that. And the way you do is you say, "Listen, lady, you're completely insane. I'm not putting up with it. Not today, not ever. And who the hell are you talking to? Now, please be quiet and go back to your delusion." Right? In your delusional snow globe that doesn't exist, and tell yourself your nonsense because out here in reality, I am king. And that's what you tell them. You don't got to get mad, right? You don't got to make mistakes. You just tell them off to their face, and that's it. I challenge all y'all. I don't know what you're talking about. You can ask about me how I be responding to y'all. I don't back down at all, right? Do I? Yeah, I don't, right? No, I tell you what it is. Like, bro, y'all ain't gonna sit here and play these games with me and then try to act like I'm doing something wrong or you can play victim. Hell nah, bro. Like y'all ain't even got no reason to be approaching me and talking to me. See, the thing is people been trying to set me up for so long and keep repeating the same cycle that they don't lost sight of reality and don't understand how silly they making themselves look. You cannot approach me. I don't care who you are. You approach me in reality, like I said, I try to film everything. If you don't give me a chance to turn my camera on, you doing something illegal, obviously. And you ain't gonna get nowhere with that. You feel me? You ain't gonna set nothing up. You're not gonna get me in any trouble. I'm not afraid of trouble. There's no one who can bring me trouble or cause me trouble. I don't answer to nobody. I do what I want to do, son. You feel that? I'm a gangster. Okay? And I'm Batman. So, like I said, at the end of the day, people could do what they do. I don't let this YouTube fame go to my head. I don't have an ego. I let go of that a long time ago. That's why I'm limitless, and that's half of what I teach. So, like I said, you ain't never going to see me change as a person. Other than that, as far as like the YouTube thing, see, the old me would waste my time entertaining that and just proving I'm more of a man than all these fake little YouTubers because they nobody, they're not even competition, they all a joke. But the new me, since I believe in God and I'm just filled with faith and love and intelligence from God, I won't waste my time with none of y'all YouTubers. You YouTubers got something to say? That's fine. I respect your opinion. I respect your envy, jealousy, and hate, and keep it moving. And go get a job and go paint a portrait and do something fun with your time. You see what I'm saying? How much I've grown and evolved and changed as a person? Because now I'm a lot smarter. See, now I understand that I have everything going for me and everything to lose. See, now I understand that people who are below me should just remain below me. I don't need to waste my time entertaining your nonsense. All right. And that's about it, man. So get back to what y'all do because none of y'all have a job and you don't work. And I work 24 hours a day and I make money being Batman. All right. I'll talk to y'all later. All right. Stay mad. All right. It's a bird that cannot fly. A bird without wings. I have a name. The name is Oswald Cobblepot.